meeting. As the MC said, I've just returned from Australia for the 68th session of the International Congress of Astronomic Congress, IAC, which is a world body dealing with space. Well, I attended the meeting, even though I'm a member of the International Astronautical Academy. I attended the meeting as a parliamentarian because there's a session for parliamentarians. It is obvious that development all over the world is knowledge-driven, and space is contributing so much to generating knowledge in every facet of development, whether you are talking of agriculture or medicine, manufacturing, name it. And so space has become very, very important as an instrument in socio-economic development. And I'm happy that we as a nation, we are part of this move. When we started the space program in Nigeria, it was like a joke, and people didn't take us seriously. They felt it was an ego trip. But I'm happy today that more and more people are beginning to acknowledge the relevance of space, that most terrestrial problems can be solved from space. I acknowledge Professor Maloma here. We have worked together for a long time. I'm happy that we continue to elaborate our relationship with China and India. Both countries are members of United Nations Committee on Peaceful Uses of Outer Space. We have always interacted with the Chinese Space Research Organization, India's Space Research Organization, ISRO. We had time to interact with them because they have very, very strong and result-oriented sustainable development program. They're one of the agencies in the world that have really exploited space application for sustainable development. We have interacted with India. We also interacted with China. We know that our communication satellite was built by the Chinese Great Wall in India and China. They also established a ground station here in Abuja. We still have one of our ground stations in Kashi, in China. And our DC, that is Design Center, and the AIT, that is Assembly, Integration and Testing Center for Satellite Manufacturing, is being developed by China. So we have always interacted with both India and China. Now this is a new dimension. The new map is a new dimension. And I think we are very glad that we are benefiting from the knowledge that both China and India have acquired over the years to help us in tackling those projects that come under new map. On behalf of the organizers of this meeting and the partners, I want to wish all of us that are participants a useful deliberation. And on behalf of the organizers, I humbly declare this meeting open. Thank you.
As we bring this session to a close, we would like to appreciate all the honorable commissioners for environment and permanent secretaries from the new map states.
shares the future of the eastern part of Nigeria, features of the western part of Nigeria, features of the northern part of Nigeria. So yes, Kogi should be Nigeria's core focus of attention right now.
What particular challenge do you have? Just because you are supposed to be managing, do you have any challenge as to the attitude of people making it difficult to control erosion, to control gully?
In the 2017 flood, the governor of Kogi State, Governor Yahaya Bello, did what should be a model for all other states to do. We started preparation for the 2017 flood since 2016. We feared it was going to come. And then in 2016, His Excellency directed the silting of all channels, which is part of what you saw. So a lot was done before the flood itself came. A lot of sensitization happened, which is, I'm happy to share with people that the government conducted house-to-house sensitization in 9 flood local government areas. Besides that, again, from February, there were consultation meetings with all stakeholder groups. So, and these are what we argue again, that government was able to do with its own resources. Talk about what the government was able to do. Construction of channels, the water channels, drainages in Lokoja, all through 2016 up till date. Those were going on. Those are government activities. Is the government constrained? Yes, because Kogi is not one of the most endowed states in Nigeria in terms of having economic power. But then you find that with the low financial that the states have, which should ordinarily receive much more from ecological funding and a whole lot of other intervention that the states have given its natural one, you see that we need to see a lot more of that presence compared to what the state is done. But for state intervention, Kogi State would have been more flooded than we have done right now. Even after the flood, you saw the way His Excellency was the first person at the site. Immediately we were removing all the shanties and desilting. It's cost the state so much money. But in all of that, we're saying we do have our challenges. These are people living within this low area. I'm glad Newmark mentioned that. There are people who need to be settled. Resettlement is beyond the scope of state resources alone. You wonder why is it that year after year people are still there. So the state needs a lot of support from other stakeholders, national, international, and that again is part of the major challenge we have, funding.
Good morning to all of you. We are from India, from Indian Space Research Organization. We are here to participate in the World Space Week being organized by NewMap, Nigeria. We have been called as a resource persons. You know, space technology today is no more developed countries program. Every developing country needs to have its own space program to use the technology for the betterment of the mankind, for the grassroots level applications, for the livelihood generation, bringing transparency and good governance. Today, space technology coupled with ICT, information and communication technology, is going to play a key role in the development of any of the third world countries for their future development and betterment of the country. Thank you.
So if we talk specific, how do we use the knowledge of space science in managing erosion, gullies, flooding?
Today, any of the space technology will be facilitating the planning and also monitoring, mapping and management of the implementation of the program, coupled with the information communication technology tools. You know, the present day concept of the watershed program is ridge to valley treatment, to have at a micro level, maybe covering about 1,000 to 5,000 hectares area as a unit, smallest, which can be called as a watershed. And to have such a detailed information, you need to have very high resolution satellite data and slope and a digital elevation model or digital terrain model, and also the land use, land cover of the area, so that you can identify the various zones where you are having a problem, addressing the problem in terms of the soil erosion, land degradation, vegetation being eroded. All those issues will be mapped using the satellite data, and local specific action plans can be addressed more scientific and systematic way, which can be handled from time to time, and also same can be monitored the implementation of the program with the time series satellite data, and also revisiting the same areas using the new mobile app technologies, which is called Android based application, which are freely available in the world over. Thanks.
It's funded by the Chinese government and managed by the World Bank. How much are we actually talking about?
The World Bank has been involved with many programs all across the world on watershed management. My name is Harshdeep and I'm the global lead for watersheds at the World Bank. And I was also privileged to be part of the new map project preparation. What the bank has done is, in this particular event, tried to bring together three of its biggest clients on watershed management, India, China, and Nigeria. And just like new map, which is $500 million in Nigeria, there are many programs across India as well, both at state level and national level, as well as in China. China has also provided resources for a South-South knowledge exchange program, as part of which this event is being held. And that trust fund is managed by the World Bank, and it seeks to try and bring together the knowledge and experiences on geospatial tools and other tools related to watershed management across China, India, and Nigeria, because all these are federal type countries which are grappling with a lot of issues in both maximizing the protection of their natural resources in terms of their watersheds, as well as in improving their livelihoods.
So in terms of Nigeria, because the project goes across other countries, in Nigeria, how much is World Bank managing?
So, as you know, there are no World Bank projects. There are only World Bank supported projects or World Bank finance projects. These projects are implemented by the government. So the program that we have in Nigeria currently is the Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Program called new map, and it's about $500 million that is currently being executed across different states in Nigeria. And there's a talk also of trying to see if this can be scaled up in the future.
How does World Bank ensure that there's transparency in trying to execute these projects across the country?
Many of my colleagues that are working on this as part of the task team will also be able to say more about this. But what we are trying to do is to try and see if in these programs we can improve the way a lot of the tools that we are showcasing here, such as geospatial technologies, can also be used. And you heard some examples in the morning of how a lot of modern tools that we now have at our disposal can be used to try and both promote efficiency and transparency in terms of planning, management, and monitoring the efficacy of such programs. And we look forward to supporting Nigeria further in this regard.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay.
So, as a professional, what do you think could be the contribution of space science to managing this problem?
If you know about flooding, it covers a long area because of the length of the river, and the only way you can manage it or monitor it is to use space technology. Fortunately, we have the National Center for Remote Sensing, which has been working on the environment, studying the environment and relating to what happened. If you recollect, in 2012, there was a serious flooding. The National Center for Remote Sensing monitored this right from the entrance of those two main rivers, River Niger and River Benue, up to the confluence and down. We studied it, and it was a report that the federal government used to alleviate the condition of most of the people that were affected. So space technology is very relevant because, remember, the satellite is up there and it can take an image of a wider area and give you more information. You know, even before the flooding, things like that, using space technology, remote sensing in particular, you'll be able to, people like the meteorology agency could tell you or what will happen throughout the year, and that is the application of space technology. So space technology, in a nutshell, is very, very important, relevant, and also come at a time when it is needed.
Has been the contribution of remote sensing so far?
Yeah.
You know, we have the issue of environmental problems in this country. What has been
the contribution? Number one is the development of geospatial intelligence, both for the study of the environment and the security. Secondly, we have used remote sensing to census all the natural resources of in this country, use the earth resources. And in those days, the money that was used to do something like that, because we now have intelligence, or we have National Center for Remote Sensing, we are able to use less money to be able to work and give Nigeria map of Nigeria using the natural resources. I mean, how the forest is, where there are houses, where there are farms. We were able to do that at a cheaper rate. If there was no remote sensing, it would have cost this country so much money.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.